Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Ellena, and today I'm going to do a reading for the mid-month of August for all signs. I went ahead and pre-shuffled your cards, so let's jump right in and let's see what messages Spirit has to say. Time to part ways. Soulmate, a divine soulmate connection, a lesson that is to be learned from this relationship, a romance of a lifetime. Interesting. All is possible. Time for an adventure. Interesting. And then expansion, focusing on increasing your vibration at this time, a job promotion, share your knowledge, gifts, and talents with the world right now. Interesting. International connections is also what I see with this. That's kind of interesting. Let's see what else Spirit wants to say here. Healing cocoon of light, 5/5. That's a number of change. The challenger, right under soulmate. Yeah, there's something going on here in terms of like a deep connection, purging process. You may be currently experiencing emotional discomfort that is disrupting your inner peace. Your relationships could be challenging you in a very painful way. Divine channel, you are a divine channel. You work with your angels and guides to deliver messages that assist others on their spiritual path. Heart opening, right under expansion here. Someone you know, it may even be you, is withholding love and creating a very emotionally painful experience for everyone involved. Let me see here. You know, immediately kind of looking at this spread. Normally I would read it this way, but here it seems to just really line up like particularly well with the cards vertically. This is very interesting. I do feel like, you know, those who have been watching, I feel like there's been a time of isolation, a time of being in hermit mode where you've been kind of collecting your thoughts, sifting and sorting your life, working on your trauma, and healing yourself, and also kind of putting like a bit of a protective barrier around you. Whether you know it or not, you're so deeply surrounded by your guides and your angels, so much so that the time of isolation may, even though it may have felt very stagnant and it could have been a struggle for some, I do feel like it was there to kind of protect you. I say this because, for instance, if you're a very loving and giving person and you don't see the world in a very closed-minded way, like you always try to see the best in people, or you always try to hope for the best, like it's a something like naivete about you, in terms of like you always think there's good in people, or you always try to understand people. And with your giving nature, I feel like if you did not take the time to really isolate and know yourself, know your boundaries, know how people are, and to just kind of, you know, observe the landscapes of your world, because not everybody acts in integritous ways, right? Like, I feel like you are now coming out of that, because had you had not taken that time for yourself, you would probably be giving a lot of your energy to those around you who you love. It's like you would be focusing so much more on other people's dreams than you would be on your own. You'd kind of get lost in the sauce, you know what I mean? Like lost in someone else's dreams and goals, and you wouldn't know that until years go by, and you're just kind of left with feeling a little bit of an emptiness of, like, you know, just feeling not fulfilled. And I feel like Spirit here is saying that you've done that work, You know yourself. You know when you're out of balance and giving too much of yourself to something or another. It's just kind of like it's time to break out of that mold, and it's time to break free from that. And as you're breaking free from that and understanding your boundaries, and understanding who you are, that's going to cause a lot of shakeups to people who you've probably known for a long time, and because they're not used to that version. Maybe they're used to you constantly giving to them all the time. Maybe they're used to you always being there for them. And it's kind of like you're making this decision of like, no, like I'm actually going to focus on what I need to do. And to be in that truth, that authenticity is hard, right? It's hard because you're going to disappoint people, whether you realize it or not, as you're moving towards your goals, because you either will trigger them because maybe they're not focusing on what it is that they want to do, and you remind them of a certain amount of freedom that they may not possess. And I say freedom because, for instance, like let's say your life is so free that you can literally choose who you want to speak to, who you don't want to speak to, and that includes your family members. Whereas maybe some people are in marriages or in partnerships or have a lot of relationships tied together, in-laws, where they have no choice but to be in those particular dynamics, and they have to kind of work their way in that dynamic, and they can't fully just kind of disappear or like not talk to people, whereas you're kind of separate from that. And so if you are experiencing that, like for instance, that person might envy your freedom. They might envy the fact that you are so free that you can kind of not have to deal with all of that, all of those dynamics going around. So I think also when I'm looking at this, not only are you purging a lot of old beliefs that no longer resonate with this new version of you that's coming out of the cocoon, and releasing relationships, stagnant relationships that have just shown time and time again that this is not something that both of y'all can harmoniously kind of grow together. One of two things can happen. It's like these people can shift away, or you can heal this type of version in you, like these wounds in you, these old beliefs in you, and these people might take note. So one of two things can happen. These people, your soulmates, these relationships either will dissolve and move away from you, or they're going to look at you and be like, that's really inspiring. How can I be more like that? How can I set my boundaries up a little higher? How can I, heal myself? Because as you're standing in your truth here, you're very connected to spirit. Like, it's like you know who you are, right? Because all that time here, you've been in this cocoon, and now you're kind of unleashing the gifts that is really you. Your authenticity is the greatest gift you can give to other people, because you're showing them exactly who you are, which is an absolute gift. And you're reminding them that they can also be exactly who they are. So it is absolutely one of the greatest things you can do. And because it's right underneath the time for an adventure, I feel like, because I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this, when you are in such an alignment with yourself, there's miracles that happen because you are fulfilling what it is that you're meant to do. You're going to be at the right place at the right time. You're going to meet the right people. I do see for some, maybe some traveling, networking, overseas connections, international connections, a lot of fun, more fun coming into your life. And it is because of your alignment with yourself. That work that nobody really saw but yourself, that healing that you've done for probably years now, is finally going to pay off. Like, it's going to show you in your reality miraculous ways of you having done that work, and things are going to start moving very quickly for you. And, again, from the outside, people will probably be like, how is this person able to do this? Very confused how things keep working out for you. But you're not surprised by it because of the work that you've done. So as that moves forward, what I see is an expansion job promotion. Maybe you'll go up in your career. Maybe you expand your network and career in many different ways. And it's an expansion of your heart. Like, look at this. You're starting to actually really enjoy your life. You're enjoying your experience here. Whereas like before, maybe it's been really hard on you. Maybe life has been really difficult, especially if you carry a lot of light. You probably experience a lot of dark. And it's tiring sometimes when you do that. So the fact that you're able to kind of keep your heart open and you're able to keep shining and having compassion for people and like to transmute things, like you're a very powerful alchemizer. So the darkness that you have faced, the reason why you've been in a lot of like, let's say, contrasting experiences is because you have that power to heal it, to transmute it, and also you have that power to kind of, the wisdom to kind of apply it. So we can alchemize a lot of our pain in many ways, and a lot of times when we do it, it's like we do it in a way where it's healing for others. So maybe you do share your messages, your spiritual messages to other people. Maybe you do some art that can be very healing and moves people, or you do some healing work like Reiki work, light language. Maybe you do something with the pain that you've experienced and you make it into a positive energy to assist humanity. And I feel like because you do that, there's going to be amazing rewards coming your way. So this is an amazing reading. So positive movement forward. Yeah. So I do feel like not only are you kind of expanding your territory and like moving towards the things that make you happy, like the sun in the tarot, the sun card is the happiest card in the deck. And even though you're going in uncharted waters, like I feel like there's like a travel across borders, a travel across a body of water for some. I do feel like there's a lot of optimism, a lot of happiness, and unfortunately you might have to leave some people behind, but it's not like you're burning a bridge. Maybe some of you guys are burning a bridge. I do feel like you're going to be somewhere where you're going to meet the right people, and those who have been quote unquote like kind of left behind or whatever, they can always get a boat and meet you over there. Like it's not like you have to close that door forever. It's like, but they need to do that work to meet you. If that makes sense. They need to do that work. Sacral chakra purging process. It's either you're unleashing your creativity or you're having very firm boundaries and you know who you are. Your sacral chakra is about healthy boundaries. So it's interesting that it's like right in the center here. So not only is it possible, your boundaries can either inspire people to work on themselves to be part of your journey, or it's going to create a barrier where it's like they're not going to be part of your journey moving forward. But you are kind of gaining energy in your sacral chakra to kind of unleash your expression to the world, and your creativity and the things that you want to do. So this is your destiny. Look at that card here. Look at that. Yeah, this is what you're meant to be doing. You know, you're meant to be sharing your gifts, and the fact that you're doing it, you're not holding on to something in fear that you're going to disappoint or like leave someone behind. You're actually understanding from a higher perspective that you being yourself is the goal. You standing in your truth is the goal, and everything else will fall where they may. This is part of what you signed up to do a long time ago, and you're doing it. And so I feel like this is a reading where you just kind of have to analyze the relationships a little bit more, and to kind of let that go too, because it's either you have a choice here, because we all have choice, whether we're going to pursue this thing that has always been part of us, risking leaving some people behind, or we're going to stay in our fear and we're going to stay around people who may not be great for us, due to fear that, you know, we'll leave them behind. So, or that we'll be alone, you know what I mean? So I do feel like August is really asking us to self-reflect and it challenges us to step into our truth. And again, that choice, as this is a decision card, is really up to you. So that's a very powerful reading. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you found that this message resonates with you, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. That really helps my channel out. And thank you so much for checking this out. And I will talk to you later, and have a great rest of your August. Okay. Thank you. Okay, bye.